Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Am I the Butthole Reddit video. Am I the butthole for calling my brother-in-law out for his weaponized incompetence and calling him pathetic at dinner? I'm a 24-year-old female. I have a sister who's 32, whose husband, 38, is the poster child of weaponized incompetence. They have 4 kids, 10, 8, 5, and 3, and she's pregnant. My sister works a full-time job, 40+ hours a week, cleans her entire house, cooks, takes care of all her children without him doing anything. It is seriously mind-blowing that she wakes up at like 4 a.m., cooks breakfast, does chores, gets all of her kids ready for school, takes them all to school and daycare, and all he does is stay home and work, and when his kids get home, after my sister picks them up of course, he will play with them for a little and play video games until he falls asleep. She actually makes more than him. My fiancé, who's a 26-year-old male, and I had to stay with them for 6 weeks while our home was being renovated, and since we both work from home, we helped her, and it is amazing how much happier she is when she has help. I helped with the kids, and my fiancé even drove her to doctor's appointments. Her husband literally only acknowledges he is a parent when his family is around. Then he is a God-fearing, hard-working father of 5. He is the one who wanted more kids. She wanted to stop after her last baby, but he needed more boys. I am seriously concerned not only for her, but her kids as well, because now her oldest is seeing what's happening and trying to help, but my sister is prideful and refuses to let her child do anything. Me and this man have never gotten along. He's been acting like this since their 8-year-old was born. I've tried talking to her about leaving, but she doesn't want her kids to grow up in a broken home. And unfortunately, her experience with our parents' divorce was completely different than mine, so she doesn't understand that a divorce would benefit her kids here because she thinks they need their mom and dad together. Cut to this past weekend. Her and her husband threw a pre-Thanksgiving potluck where our family and his was there. I stayed with my sister a few days before because I knew he wouldn't help. So we're at dinner all talking, and I mention we are trying for a baby, and my brother-in-law makes an offhanded comment to him about how hard fatherhood is, and I snapped and said, "Like you would know." He looked taken aback and asked me what I meant, and I unloaded on him, calling him a pathetic excuse for a man who makes my 8 months pregnant sister do everything for their family. I went off for a solid 10 minutes, and he sat there shrinking in his seat. Then I left. Last night, my sister called me and thanked me for standing up for her and told me she appreciates me. Although today, I got a very nasty text from him telling me I'm a terrible person, and because I lied in front of his family, his mom is angry at him and is moving in with them to help my sister out, and I've made him the laughingstock of his family. He certainly thinks so, but am I the butthole for doing this? Am I the butthole for being really honest with my manager in front of her boss? So I have been a stay-at-home mom for several years. I worked very hard on our budget, shopping, meal prep, etc., and we were okay. We recently became empty nesters. The last one moved out, pays her own bills, got a scholarship, etc. I was bored, so I decided to take one of the many grocery store jobs available at the store across the street. My intent was part-time, but they quickly moved me to a different full-time position, which I do like and am good at, and it pays quite a bit more. The store is short-staffed and I have been doing my best to help, but recently my manager sat me down with her boss, as a witness, to have a documented discussion about how I am not a team player, because I won't help other departments, even though I am struggling to get my own stuff done, because my position should have 3 people, but it's just me. They wanted me to sign a paper acknowledging that my behavior was unacceptable. I told my manager, "You need me, I don't need you. In my previous position in management, I learned it will cost your store an average of $10,000 to hire and train a replacement. I also know you have a walk-in interviews welcome sign outside every day, and you are all stressing about how short-staffed you are and have limited applications. So no, I won't sign this. Feel free to fire me. There are 10 stores within a mile that are also offering walk-in interviews. So no, I won't sign this. You can accept that or replace me, and I really don't care if you mark me as not eligible for rehire. I'll just leave you off my resume and I'll do just fine. I still have a job 3 days later and everyone is acting like nothing happened, but some people are saying I am being a butthole because the management is also struggling because they are short-staffed. Am I the butthole for kissing my husband at a friend's event? I'm a 37-year-old female and my husband is a 42-year-old male. I have a friend, Becky, who's a 36-year-old female, and we attended her annual barbecue last weekend. Becky and I have been close friends since college. I met my husband shortly after graduating, and while he and Becky have never been very close, such as hanging out without me, they have always been friendly towards one another, and we've all hung out together on numerous occasions. Becky recently lost her husband due to a medical issue, and we've all been devastated. This year, Becky texted me the day before her event and told me that she was making this year's occasion a child-free one, and that meant I couldn't bring my 3-year-old and that she understood if I couldn't make it. I bit my tongue in an effort to be respectful and thanked her for letting me know and told her I indeed wouldn't be able to make it. She responded by saying she was looking forward to seeing my husband at dinner though. I saw no issue with this and sent her a thumbs up. The next morning was the day of Becky's event, and my mother-in-law luckily agreed to babysit our toddler. We thanked my mother-in-law and headed over to Becky's with food, gifts, and no children in tow. As we walked in, Becky greeted my husband with a hug and an excited "hello," and then me with a sort of surprised look on her face. She didn't say much to me and went into her living room with everybody else. I went to put down the food on the counter while she introduced everybody to my husband and referred to him as "dear." My husband told me this later on in the evening. I walked into the room and she gave me no mind since she was deep in a conversation with a friend of hers. Sometime into the party, Becky and my husband were both standing at the patio door and she had her arm around his waist. He spotted and looked at me with a "help me" glare, so I made my way over thinking she had one too many. I gave him a kiss as he separated from her grasp. Becky looked at the both of us and then back at the others at the party with a shocked expression and then ran back into the house crying. She ran into the bedroom and locked the room and screamed at me to leave through the door. I tried asking her what had upset her and why she wanted us to leave numerous times. She refused to answer me and just kept crying. So we left, and on the way out, received some pretty dirty looks from the other partygoers. Later, I received text from several mutual friends who scolded me for public displays of affection and how Becky was so upset that I had made her party look tacky and that I was rubbing it in her face that she was a widow. I was so shocked and hurt to hear this and mentioned that every other couple at the event was also being relatively affectionate, and that despite my husband and I not being ones to commit PDA in public, I had given him a side hug and a pet kiss, and that was all. Anyways, I'm at a loss at what I should do. I feel like I hurt a close friend, but I'm not sure how and what I can do to fix it. Reddit, help! Am I the butthole? This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, now is the time to subscribe. I would love for you to drop a like, share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.